Hello everyone and welcome to another relaxing long play of Planet Zoo. In this video we're going to be building the craziest zoo we possibly can and also trying to keep you guys as relaxed as possible. This is going to be part one of a multi-part series we're going to be doing on the channel. So if you guys would like to see this zoo continue to grow, let's get this video to 500 likes to keep that coming. If you guys also wouldn't mind, we are in the race, the final race to get to 70,000 subscribers. I definitely appreciate your support. Without further ado, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, and let's get right into the video. Hello everyone and welcome to another relaxing long play of Planet Zoo. Today we are on one of the campaign maps. It's kind of pre-made for us today. Looks absolutely incredible, so there's great opportunities for us to make some pretty nice little enclosures and build the best zoo we possibly can. Let's get started with a couple of things. Obviously we're going to need a little area for people to get some food and a first enclosure. So I think having a nice little cafeteria over here might look pretty nice. So like, and we can even like across the river here, we can build a bridge, go all the way over here and kind of build along here if we want. So this could be a part 2, part 3. I guess we'll kind of see how it goes and how far we get today. So let's get started with our cafeteria. So I might even make this like a really wide kind of entrance and then see if we can kind of fill this in. Let's maybe start with like this. We could have a little entrance. And then over here, we could have a little entrance going to it. And then maybe even over here, I guess we'll have to kind of see. I think I like that kind of like a two-parter entrance. And then what I could do is just grab this, align to grid, and then I can kind of just build off of this. So let's go as far as we can. I think I like that. I might have to get rid of a couple of trees here. Let's maybe go back one. Let's go this way and then kind of build out going this way. And then if I can connect this little part, that would be amazing. But that should be a pretty good start for our little cafeteria area. And then I can just connect this up right to there. And then that kind of gives me two little angles to come at this. I have nice trees in front. I think that'll look pretty good. So we can get a couple of buildings in here. Obviously, we'll need to have some food and some water for our people to drink. So let's see what we got for some facilities. I guess let's maybe go blueprints. And if we kind of kept the kind of woodland theme, like look at this. Look how cool that looks. Let's see if we can kind of replicate that if possible. So we got like Viking themed stuff. I think if we could get like something similar to that, I think that would make me happy. We got like these cool buildings. There's lots of cool stuff that we can throw down here. I mean, this is kind of a beautiful building. This is kind of a souvenir shop for people. Honestly, this would look good even like right here. And that kind of allows a little bit of room back there for that path to continue on. Let's maybe put this like right here. And then we can open up a couple little souvenir shops. Look how cool this looks in here. We got to build some shelves, but I mean, this guy is up for the challenge. We got some cool wall art there. Man, whoever built this did a great job. So we'll definitely use this for our souvenir shop. That makes me really happy. And then if we can also get, I mean, this is like pre-built. Do I have to open this? I wonder if I have to like actually physically open it. I don't think I do. It's just modular. I think it's already, it should be open. We'll kind of keep an eye on that, see if people go into it or not. But let's just kind of see what that will look like. I'd really like the look of those buildings. We also have this like cool lookout tower, and I feel like this would be pretty cool. Even just having like as soon as people enter in. Oh, I feel like that'd be so cool. Just have it like right on an angle right there. I think that'd be really neat. Kind of adds a little pizzazz to our park. And let's go with a couple other buildings. So obviously we got these New World ones. They're not too bad. They got this nice wooden look. And I think it would actually fit in quite nicely with the one we already put down. But I really like these Planet Zoo info shops, kind of like this. And then that would actually match our other buildings. So we already have those. So we don't need those anymore. We got a research center. I think that's fine. Let's get a little info shop. And I feel like that could even go like right here. As soon as people come in, I can maybe even have it on a little bit of an angle going this way. And let's see how this would kind of fit in here. Let's kind of put it right in the middle. Obviously, we're going to have to cut some grass around here. But I think that should be just fine. Look at how beautiful that's looking, and with the mountains in the background. Okay, this is going to be a cool build. I'm really excited for this. We also have a pizza or a chief beef. I could probably go with one of these and get a few little buildings in here. So let's go with the chief beef. Let's get a couple. These are like exhibits. You got a gulpy that you can get in here. Obviously, you want to line this up as good as possible. That looks pretty good. Let's just put it like right there. We can kind of space them out as best as we can here. We also have like a little merchandise shop. Now this could probably go like maybe even over here. I don't want to overcrowd this, and that's quite beautiful, honestly. So let's maybe leave that. I could maybe have our little balloon shop here. And maybe let's move it over a tiny bit so I can put a tree or two in there. I think that'll look quite nice. We got these cool little sheds of our own, so we can wait, what's this? Yeah, little shops. And they got like a large one. I think let's just get a regular small one here, and let's put this kind of on an angle next to this tree and about equal distance. Let's maybe go with something like that. Obviously our lineup isn't super ideal, but we are going pretty much as far back as we can. Like, look at the water in here too. It's just so cool. Also, there is a beautiful little waterfall over here. Like, how do you even make this? Could somebody tell me in the comments how this is even made? That's just so cool. This looks like real life. I am very, very impressed. So I think I'm happy with kind of how this is going. Let's go to our facilities. And we have a food place, a drink place. We're also going to need a bathroom, won't we? But let's just go to guest facilities. I think let's get another food thing. Oh, chief beef, Bernie's Bakes might be nice. Ice cream. Let's maybe go with like burgers, hot dogs. They're pretty close together. Let's maybe go with like a pizza pen. And what we can do, we can click on this, add to blueprint, and then we can throw in our building here. So let's go with the pizza pen. We can twist that around and plop that right in there. That's looking beautiful. And now we'll probably want a couple of little benches maybe in here. So let's go to our facilities again. Bins, benches, picnic benches, and now we can kind of put in whatever you want. I kind of like these. Arctic. I mean, we're in the mountains, I think. New World. Something campy. Something that will remind you of like camping. These New World picnic benches, that's just a little bit too artsy for what we're going for here today. I mean, these are kind of cool. You got a nice big wooden bench. I think that'll actually be pretty nice. Hopefully it doesn't rain around here. There are some that have little, or I guess they're supposed to have little holes in them for a little umbrella, but I'm not seeing that with most of them. So I think let's just go with this one, and then we can just get a couple things in here. So we got a nice little area. I think I'll probably put, I mean, it'd be kind of cool to like keep this going and keep it a little more mountainous. So I think I'll put a couple of picnic benches maybe around here, and then we can kind of just spread them out. No rhyme or reason, but just kind of thrown around it there. And then I think I would, let's maybe get one more. Kind of like that. I think that would be pretty nice. And then like I said, let's go to our terrain and see if we can lift this up a little bit more. I feel like that would be kind of cool just to hide this in. Let's bump up our intensity, bump up our size, and then we can kind of surround this a little bit. I feel like, well, let's keep it as smooth as we can. Let's maybe lower our size a little bit just so we can control it a little bit better. And then we can kind of make this a cozy little nook. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I think to just big enough to keep it nice. That'll be good. And then let's see if we can smooth this. Kind of smooth out this area. That's already a lot better. Let's see if we can even get this side. And then obviously we'll have to cut that grass that added in. But honestly, I think I love that. Like, it's just nice and rocky, a nice little nook. Let's go to our terrain and let's paint some short grass in here just to kind of clean up those edges, and then maybe a little bit smaller through here just to control it as much as possible. Okay, I think that's looking quite nice. So I think I'm happy with this. We're going to need some bins. Let's get some bins. What do we want to go with? I think just a regular old, I mean, these newer old ones are pretty cool. Let's go with like this one. It's kind of like a little bit old and rustic. I could probably put a few of these in here. Let's maybe have like one. Actually, I don't know if I love the look of that. I think I like these like classic bins. These are super nice. And let's maybe put like one over here as well. One on this side. And then maybe as people are exiting over there, it might be fine. And then it might be a pretty good idea to have a couple more throughout here. Maybe one on the edge there. And then I gotta fill in some of these spots because they look good. But I think if we can have some like trees in here, that'd be kind of cool. And then over here, I might put like one or two. Maybe one kind of in the middle there as well. With that, I think we'll get rid of this one. And then I think that should be a nice spread. Even this I might move just to spread it out a little more. That's probably good, actually. Let's just get rid of that one. So we have our little area for our picnics slash for people come and eat. I think I'm happy with that. Let's get a couple of trees. So I guess we'll have to go nature, and then we can plop in some of our favorite trees. So if we go biome and maybe taiga, we can have like these nice spruce trees. I feel like something like this would look really nice. Let's kind of stick with taiga. And I could add this like back there. I think that would look pretty nice. And maybe some dead trees along here. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Even one that has like a little stump coming up. We can kind of just decorate this as much as possible. And let's just go to trees. So we got like these cool, really tall trees. And I think what we'll do is make sure they are actually in the ground. So I think, yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we can kind of just add a few trees around here. I kind of like these ones. So, yeah, I actually really like that. And then maybe a different size over here. Couple of trees. What do I want to do with this? Maybe have one like there. And then if there's like a different kind of, I mean, those are huge. Probably a little bit too big. Christmas tree. Those would be fun. Maybe not for this build, but maybe someday. These are like, that's a huge tree. Definitely a statement tree. I could even add like tiny little pine trees in here as well if I want. I guess that's pretty cool. A nice, it's almost autumn here. And actually I can see the same tree kind of littered throughout the park. So I think that would look pretty nice. And then maybe kind of right there as well. And then if we could get like maybe a tree there. And this should start. What the heck is this thing? It's actually quite beautiful, but I'm a little bit confused by it. Where in the part of the world is a puya plant? Interesting. Oh, this is a cool looking tree. And this would actually be kind of cool to overhang over top of this and kind of provide a little bit of shade for our guests. And I could probably even get like a tree there as well. You can already see the shade over this, so that's definitely helping. And let's maybe go with like one of these just to kind of tie it in a little bit better. Let's maybe go right on the edge. And then maybe over here. I don't want to litter it too much with those. Let's go with like a nice tall one there. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. And this is already looking a lot better. I wish this was Planet Coaster 2 where I can just like drag or paint my trees on and then it's kind of natural. But sometimes it's fun to just put them in your own little spot. And you can kind of just grab a few trees. That's already looking pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. And then I may even want to decorate it a little bit. I mean, I love these little bushes. Let's see if we can just plop some of them in here. And then maybe, wait, which one was it? This one? I don't want too many of them. And I think I could probably even like that's already looking pretty sweet. I could put a few of them in here. Maybe even just throughout here. And then in between. There. I think that's looking pretty good. I love the lighting. And what I have it set to, actually, I guess I should show you guys. I actually had it set to 1500. But it is kind of just doing its own thing. If I could lock this, that'd be kind of nice. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. There's lots of different options. I mean, this is like nighttime. 1700, what that's 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. That looks really nice. Honestly, let's go with 1600. I feel like the shadows just look so nice with that. Let's keep an eye on that. I think that'd be pretty cool. We have our little entrance here, and obviously we're going to need some animals right off the gate here. So there's so many different cool options. Like I could have a big enclosure in here. This has been kind of my dream to just like build in a place like this, like the water coming in there. You also have this big enclosure, and what's really neat is like, I think I could do something cool with this. Have like, I don't know, bears in here maybe. It's probably a lot of water for them, and they probably want more space. They could even go like all the way back here and keep it quite natural. But I think what I may even do is just take this and continue it right off of here. Nice and straight, and then I'll just actually aim out this way. Let's go to about a 2 length. And then which way do I want this to go? I mean, I could probably just take it kind of straight up, and this will be our main path going through here. And then I guess I could leave it right there if I wanted. And you know what? We could even future-proof ourselves here. Let's go up. Oh, that's probably a little bit too steep. Let's go with a 1. And then we can actually go down. And then straight across. Maybe to about there, and then we can go down to the ground. That's probably, let's go 1 more. Let's go maybe 1 more, and then we can go down. So how does that look? That's actually pretty good. I'd love to get some stairs though. So let's go like right down. Just so we have, oh, it's not going to show us stairs, but it's not quite far enough for that. I guess that's fine. We have our barriers going across. That is looking super nice. In fact, let's go 1 more even. Let's just do 1 more little click, and then we can go straight down. I think I'm happy with that. That looks like a nice symmetrical bridge. That is ready for a nice enclosure over here, which might look pretty nice. And I might even do, I mean, I might go like here and go out this way. We don't need it quite that big though. Let's actually go a little smaller. Let's go to about a 6. Let's go right here, and then I can actually take this right out through here and maybe go with about a 2. And I'd like to leave as much room in here as possible. Same with this. And then I can kind of go around, and let's kind of leave that for now. And then obviously with the size, is this size 8? I think it might even be a little bigger than that, size 10. I mean, I don't mind it going out like that. That's actually quite nice. So I'm happy with that. It looks like it's a little bit higher over here, which is interesting. So that explains why I wasn't able to put any stairs down. And really quickly, let's add some rails to this. So you can do railing on elevated. And that will actually put our railings up here. If we can... Do you get to choose what kind of railings you have? I don't know if you do. But I guess let's just throw some in here. And then we can get some railings on there. And then I think let's actually enable railing on ground path. Just so we can kind of get that last little bit there. And that's actually perfect. I love that. So we got a sweet bridge. We have future-proofed ourselves over here. That is going to look quite amazing. So if we are going to have our first animal, I think what I may do, let's go to our staff paths. And let's actually use the same one that they got going on here. So I think that would look good. And let's turn off our, I guess they have some railings over here, don't they? Let's just leave it off. Let's go a little bit smaller. Maybe, well, size 2 might be fine. Let's go to like a size, wait, what's this? Like 5, 4? I think this is like a 4. So I think we don't need any larger than that. I think I'm happy with that. I don't think I really need a railing here. So let's actually turn off that. So let's go railing on ground and elevated. Let's uncheck that. And then we can just go right through here and just connect it to like, I mean, kind of just like that might look pretty good. And then that kind of gives us a nice starting point where we can have our enclosure. So let's pick an animal first. So let's go to our zoo. Let's go to our animals. I guess we'll have to do animal trading first, won't we? Let's do reset all filters, and now we can kind of just pick whatever we want. So we are in the Rocky Mountains of Canada. I'm like 3 hours, 2 hours from this place in Banff. Very, very close to that place. So let's go something. I mean, bears might be kind of cool, but you gotta save your bears for like up here. Like the kind of the main event might be kind of cool. I love the way they've designed this. It's very, very cool. So let's maybe go with like let's see what we can pick. This is a pretty flat area. So honestly, maybe like wolves might be kind of cool. And I was actually just at the Calgary Zoo. They have everything separated into different kind of biomes. So you'd have like your Canadian animals, you'd have your safari animals over here, and like Arctic, kind of things like that. So I think we could maybe do something similar to that. And there's probably no better place to start than elephants. So I think I might get this guy, especially because he's so big. Longevity is really good. Immunity could be a little bit better, but I think he will do pretty good here. So let's adopt him. Yeah, it is a him. And let's go with a nice female for him to get along with. I feel like this one, let's maybe go with this one. Good longevity, good fertility. They can have some kiddos of their own. Let's adopt them. Go to our animal storage, and we will take these guys and send them to our quarantine zone here. Right there. So you can start working on that. What kind of staff do we have? Let's just quickly check that. So let's go to our staff. We can get maybe a couple of caretakers. And we're going to need some more garbages kind of throughout here as well. Keepers, we'll get a few of those. Mechanic, we could probably have one. Security guard, and let's also get a couple more vendors just to trade off with the people that are working already. I think that's probably good. Let's obviously get a veterinarian or vegetarian. I think let's go with that. I think that'll be great. And I'm just gonna quickly get a couple more garbages just to finish this off. So we got our classic bins here. I could probably put one of those maybe just right under that tree. And I was maybe going to put a couple more plants, but I think I'm pretty happy. Let's maybe put a garbage right there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like right over here. And that's probably a decent start. I just want to make sure garbage is not on any of this. Let's finish that off. There we go. I'm happy with this. Let's go with, so we got our elephants coming in. Let's go to our animals. And if we can see what they look like. So let's go to our Zoopedia. And from here, we can kind of see what kind of enclosure they need. So they need a lot of space, which is perfect for this area. We should have a lot of area for them. Let's do maybe 3 adults. And I think that might be as big as we want that family to be. Obviously, you need to build it for once that little kiddo becomes an adult and then they're nice and happy. They also need some water. They are quite picky, aren't they? So 3,485 meters squared is what we are going for. We're going to need something pretty tough. So resistance grade 6, dilapidation rate moderate. It's opaque, not climbable. I don't think elephants are going to be climbing those. What we don't want is glass. So we will try and be as efficient with that as we can. This is thick glass. Now, I don't know. Does it say in the Zoopedia what I don't think it says how like tough it needs to be. Let's just go with like a concrete one. That's probably a safe bet. Let's just go with some concrete, and then we can kind of start like this. So let's go right here. Let's angle it around. I guess we can start. Let's just go really small, and we can kind of do something like that, and then we can actually come up here. What do we want to do? Let's just do this, and then we can angle this all the way around. So let's just go as far as we can. I think that's probably pretty good. Let's actually go 15 meters, and then we can angle it around like so. So like this, back to 1, and then we can go this way. And then we can do like a 10 maybe. So this can go all the way through here, and I think people should be able to see these pretty efficiently. Let's make sure they can get as close as possible. I think that's probably pretty good. We don't want them getting much closer than that. But let's kind of just start with that. We got nice concrete barriers everywhere. Let's go around here, and then we can start angling up here, and then maybe start going. I mean, I could probably even use this as a null barrier, but I think, yeah, let's maybe go a little shorter, and then we can kind of just build around this. We can kind of fix that to be whatever we want it to be. I would kind of like to see how big this needs to be first. So I think this, I'll start, we need 3,000 hay. So I think I'll try and go this way and back. And then we can kind of use the null barrier as best we can. I'm loving this already. Actually go back a little bit here. Let's go like 10. Let's go a little tighter here. I think that might be pretty good. And now we can go with like a 7 right to our mountain. Yeah, that's perfect. And in fact, they might not even be able to get out of that. I think that's going to be good. Let's get our entrance, which can be a habitat gate. And let's put that right there. I think that'll look pretty good. And obviously we need to raise this up to a length or at height of, we need to go to, it's got to be greater than 6.6 feet. So about 3, let's call it 4 meters, so we can keep that in mind. Let's take this, let's go this way now. And then honestly, yeah, let's just go straight off of here, and I'm probably going to have my path come right through here. And then hopefully have another animal on this side. So let's go about a 10 again. And then we can start taking this back through here and to about here. Let's see what we can get away with. I mean, that is probably fine. And that can kind of be the back of the barrier. And then let's go with a null barrier just to to finish this. Let's come off of here, a nice null barrier. And I guess we can just go, we can kind of curve it around, I guess. Let's go about right there, and that should be, wait, what the heck happened here? I will have to drag this out a little bit more, I think. Let's just go like right there. And then I can just fix that little spot. So I think we have our enclosure. Let's see how big this is. So this is actually 2,800. So we need, was it 3,400? Let's go 3 adults, 3,500, let's call it. So we actually do need quite a bit bigger than this. So I think I may even just take, let's edit our barrier. We could literally just go like this all the way to there, and then just drag this out to about like there. And then we can retest this and just see. So that's 34. We could go a little bit bigger. Maybe even this midsection we could go a little bit bigger. So let's edit this. And in fact, I'll probably delete this Well, no, we could probably drag it all out a little bit more. Let's see. Let's go a little bit more here. I could probably do that and then just connect this up to here. Just like so, and then let's kind of see. Obviously I'll have to fix that. So we're at 36. That is going to be plenty for our elephants to kind of enjoy their lives. I think they'll be nice and happy there. This is looking good. Let's just finish this. Let's make this a concrete. And actually that looks pretty nice. I could even like take this tiny little section maybe and make that concrete as well. I don't know if I love that. Let's see if we can drag this out a little more. Honestly, that's probably fine. Let's just take our terrain and build that up a little bit. We can kind of just build it up around here. Let's just make sure they can't get up there. I think it just made that easier actually for them to get there. This is quite steep. I don't think they'll be able to get into here. So we might be fine. We might not. We can actually check with our heat maps and our habitat. We may need our animal in there first, but let's just get that ready to go. And then let's take our whole barrier and make sure it is all at least 4 meters tall. And then we will be ready to go. So 4 meters, perfect. This is already pretty big. Let's edit this and then we can just take it there. I think that will probably be good enough. They shouldn't be able to climb that, and then we'll just kind of hide this a little bit with our nature. Let's go to our rocks. We're still under taiga, and we kind of have these ones that we can plop in here, and then we kind of just stack them till they make sense. Kind of something like that. And then we can kind of just build this whole thing. It'd be even kind of cool to have like a little waterfall coming off of here, wouldn't it? But I just have no idea how to do that. So we'll kind of do our best. Let's have a nice big rock up top. Maybe kind of like right there. They shouldn't be able to climb that, but I'm just making triple sure because they are elephants and they would probably cause some damage. So we're gonna kind of build this up. And maybe one like this. And now we can edit this, add one off of here, and call that a null barrier. So let's kind of curve it around. Let's go with a null one, and we can just connect it right to there. So that should be good. Let's make sure we're the right size. What am I do with this? Let's take our terrain. Let's go down a little bit. Let's go a little bit bigger. And then we can kind of just carve out a little area for where our water is going to go. So obviously it's going to kind of pool down here. I think that'll be pretty cool. I think I'm happy with this. Let's just make this a little bit flatter. Actually go a little bit smaller here. I wouldn't mind having a nice big kind of cliff face here. But then I'll kind of have to build this up just to hold a little bit of water in here as well. Let's build that up. Kind of just like that. I'm going to have some water flowing down here and then kind of toppling over this little cliff face as well. So let's push that down a little bit. I think I should be able to put some water in there, and I think that'll look pretty good. And obviously I'll have some pooling over this edge as well. Let's kind of just go something like that. And then hopefully kind of guide it in here. So I think I'm happy with that. So now what we can do, let's go to our, where's our blue? No, we want to go construction, go to special effects, and I already topped in top. I just watched a video on this. So hopefully I don't butcher this. We have our special effect waterfall top 10 top. So this kind of gives us like, wait, 10 meters. So I wonder if I put that down, is that gonna like actually work for us? Let's kind of go like this. So we can have like a little bit of water coming off of there. But first, let's put a little bit of water in here first. Let's go terrain. Yeah, a little bit of water. We got calm water. We could put maybe some rough water or something. It's a little bit obstructed. I also want to have like a main source up here. So let's maybe get that going. Let's maybe just go flatten to foundation. And then we can kind of have a nice little area like that. Just to have a little bit here. And then let's kind of flatten this. And then have it kind of trickle all the way down here. I think that'll be pretty cool. So we can put some water in here, I think. Let's go a little deeper. And then we can have this kind of a nice watery area. Let's make it look a little bit more natural, because obviously I'm going to put something over here. So I'll maybe even kind of go like out here. Just have a little bit of extra water. And then maybe build this up a tiny bit. Maybe like up here. Something like that. And then let's even roughen this up a tiny bit on the bottom, just so it looks a little bit more natural. And then we can just take our flattened foundation and hopefully just drag it right on through here. Maybe not that much, actually. Let's just push this down a little bit. Because obviously the water is going to be a little bit higher and then just fall through here. So let's go maybe like that. And I think we should be able to put our water in here. Is that as high as we can go? We might have to get this a little bit higher. So let's just raise all this higher. Just so we can put the water in there as high as possible. I think over here we might need a little bit higher up. And then we can get some rough water in here. That's already looking pretty good. Now I still will need to kind of... Let's see if we can fix this a little bit. Let's go a little smaller. And then right off the top, we can kind of just have a little dip in here. To hopefully still have the water come through. So let's try that. That's actually getting pretty close. I don't mind that. I think with that, let's actually lower this a little bit more. Just to make it look a little bit more natural. But kind of keep the height of it all about the same. But obviously you got to do this before you put your water down. So let's just try that. Something like that. Now let's see if we can get it in there. Okay, that's actually kind of perfect. And then we can have some water kind of leading down through here. And in fact, I might adjust this a little bit more just to kind of fine tune all of this. So let's go a little higher over there. And then this can actually be a nice little... Can't really adjust this later, so let's just work on it now. Let's lower our intensity. And then we can kind of just lower this all the way down gradually, just so there's a little walking path for animals to get down to this water. And hopefully they can't reach each other's enclosure. Yeah, let's kind of just try this. It's a nice big open area, so I think this should look quite nice. I'm already loving the look of that. So this can kind of be a little bit of water down here, and then if we can kind of adjust this to have some area to put some water, that would be quite nice. So let's go as deep as we can. Let's maybe do something like that and just see if we can get some water in here. It already looks like we can. Let's get this as close to here as we can now. Let's go a little bit lower. And then see if we can still get some water in there. It doesn't look like we can. Just keep raising this up until we are able to put some water. There, that's valid. That might be our best bet. We got a little bit of water pooling and it's right on the edge. So honestly, that might be our best bet there. So let's push this back a tiny bit. Actually, we may have to get rid of our null barrier here. So let's just delete that as well as that, and then we can add it after we get this kind of set up. So let's just push this back so it looks a little better. I guess what I could do is maybe dig into this mountain a little bit. I hope this works. I'm really hoping this works. So let's push back into here. Let's increase our intensity a little bit here. And then we could hopefully have a little area for some water to come down through here. Kind of something like this. And then we can add some water in here. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for. And then it can kind of pool in here. That's actually kind of cool. Let's see if this works. So in theory, I mean, it might kind of work. So let's go off of here. We'll have to aim this kind of just like right off of here. And I think we'll kind of go right off the top. And then we'll just aim it. I guess we'll have to go this way, won't we? You'll have to aim it kind of where you want it to go. But the opposite direction. So kind of like that. Somewhat like that. Hopefully that kind of just works. And then we'll also do this. I think you got to aim it right off of there. I think even just like that might be kind of good enough. And then off of here, obviously, we'll add some. Kind of just like that. Just to kind of simulate water falling down. I don't know how you get it any taller than that. Okay, I figured it out. Now you type in mid. And I think he went with the 10 meter. We might not need that. This is kind of like murky. We don't want the murky. We want just nice water coming off of here. So let's go right off of there. I think that'll probably be good enough. We definitely don't need it going that far down. So let's just kind of aim it going that way. We can have a little bit going that way as well. And now we kind of have a little bit of a waterfall there. That's definitely cool. And then we'll kind of have it pooling into here. So that'll be pretty sweet. Let's go this way. That's probably not far enough. So let's go with the 10 meter for this one. I think with this though, we will have to put this back a little bit. So I think what I might do, I'll have to get rid of our terrain. Let's remove water there, and then we can kind of adjust this a little bit. This will have to be more of a cliff face for it to kind of work. It's got to be a negative slope. So I think something like that should work. And then we can put our water in here now. So let's put our rough water in there. We can actually get even more, so that looks even better. And then in here, we can get our water as high as possible. Again, that's looking fantastic. So this one, we even have a negative one. I might even go a little bit more. Kind of push that back a little bit. Let's actually remove our water once again, just quickly. And then I can adjust this a little more. In fact, I might get rid of these if I can find them. I can kind of drag this and then just get rid of those. Okay, so I think that should work. Now we can get our terrain and make this as nice as we want it to be. So I think something like that. That's a nice negative slope. This is so cool, actually. And now let's see if we can get our water in here. We'll want it to go a little higher than that. So I think I might have to pull this up a tiny bit more and then, well, no, I guess we'll have to go a little bit lower there. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. So now we have good water in there. We can put a decent amount of water in here. Might actually take this a little bit further this way, just so we can get even a little bit more out of it. Something like that. But let's see if we can get quite a bit in there. That's absolutely perfect. So that's actually a nice height. I'm going to quickly get rid of these let's just delete those, and then we can kind of adjust this again. And then we can push this back. That's kind of what I just learned just now. So we got to have like quite a negative amount here. So let's take this and actually remove our water again. And then we can really push this back. Kind of like that. I think that's going to be perfect. So here you got a negative slope. Here you got a negative slope. That is going to look absolutely amazing. Let's put our water back in here. That is right to the edge. Like that's what you want to see. You want it right to the edge. That's pretty close as well. And now we can mess around with this. So this is already looking pretty good. A nice little waterfall at the top. Go to our construction and get the, let's type in top again. And we can grab our 10 meter. And then kind of just, you want to aim it at your water. Kind of finicky. So I think let's put that like right there. I think just one actually might be fine there. This one's probably good. And then this one I will aim at our water. And then we can kind of do the same thing. So that's actually looking so cool. I may have a little bit more. I don't really, let's just go, just to make it a little bit wider. Let's try something like that. And then what you do, you go to mid and you get your, I don't want our murky water. Let's just get a, this is a 5 meter. I think that would actually be kind of perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. This one, let's actually get some water in here. So let's figure out exactly what we need for these elephants. So again, let's go to Rizopedia. We are figuring this out. Let's go to Rizopedia and see what we need. So they need 150 meters squared of water. I guess for 3 adults, though, you need about 300. So they'll need quite a bit. I may have to make this a little bit bigger. I guess we'll have to see. But let's just flatten to foundation. Let's go a little bit deeper here. Increase that. Let's go a tiny bit deeper. Just to have a nice foundation to flatten to, and then kind of just see what we have here. Also, obviously, we'll have to have our null barrier. I don't think they should be able to kind of climb this. Let's just quickly get that. So let's just go right up here, go null. No, we don't want that to be a null barrier. Let's go null barrier, come off of here, and then just connect it to there, null barrier. And now we can actually see how much water we have. Average water depth, 86 centimeters. Water area, 2 meters squared. Oh, I need to actually put water in, that's why. So let's try that. Let's put our water in just for a nice little test. And now we can see what we got. So now we have 665 land areas, 360. Or I think we could maybe go a little bit less water. Maybe kind of just around this area. Maybe kind of just take it along here instead. So let's just do something like that. Let's go this way a little bit more. And kind of just have it a little bit wider rather than into the enclosure. So now we can just take this, flatten it over here, and kind of just go with that for now. And obviously we'll need a little entrance into our water. I might actually raise this up a tiny bit. Let's see what we can get away with. I think that'll actually be a nice height. And then we'll fix it afterwards. I want them to be able to actually go into the water. Well, let's just kind of do that. We can fix these edges. Make sure we still have our negative space in here. Let's maybe make it a little bit deeper. We could probably go a little deeper. Why not? Let's fix these edges. Kind of something like that. And then let's actually just take this and lower this into here. So let's go intensity a lot lower. And then you can kind of just paint over this and then gradually paint it into your enclosure. Like we already have a decent slope there. So they should be able to walk into here. Let's see what this water looks like. Like that'll actually be perfect. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Still a lot of water, but honestly, I'll just make it a little bit bigger. Or maybe just make it so they can't have any babies. We'll have to see. So we got our little midsection water here. Let's put it that way. Let's maybe get one over here, one there. And then, yes, it's hitting the bottom. That's so cool. This is the coolest thing I've ever done. And then let's face it going through here. Maybe just right off of, I think that's probably fine. Let's just put it like there. And then like that. That should be a pretty good little waterfall. And then what you can do is go to bottom. No, not bottom. Bottom. And then we got these 5-meter effects. So you can actually put this, let's face it, over here. And then you can kind of, what this does is simulate the water hitting the bottom here. So can I raise this up a little bit? That's actually so cool. So now it looks like the water is actually splashing into there. That's wicked. And then over here, we don't need this so big. Like, this is not a whole lot of water is coming through here, but I think down here we'll maybe need one. Let's go lower. Let's see what we can come up with. So let's go right up to the top there, and that should be a nice... That's perfect. And then over here, we'll try and... Let's just put that there and see what that kind of looks like. That's actually looking really cool. I may lower these a little bit just so they're not so visible. Or maybe kind of put it under the waterfall. Or let's actually just move it. Let's go back a tiny bit and a little bit under the water just so you can't see it so well. I don't know. You can kind of see it, but that's so cool. This is already looking amazing. I'm going to put some rocks around here and just kind of tie this in. But this is looking so sweet. And then obviously you got a nice little enclosure over here as well. So I think that is the coolest thing I've ever built. I'm really glad I put some time into it. Let's go to our nature. Let's get some rocks. And then what we can do is maybe just go like, I can even do something like this. Let's go up. Maybe just like, they can kind of hide this a little bit. Just to simulate like an actual waterfall coming through here. I might actually raise these up a little bit more. Or let's lower this a tiny bit. I think that's pretty cool actually. So we got a nice cliff face there. Let's do another similar type rock to that one. Kind of like that. And then over here, I might actually put a nice size one in here. Kind of just like that. How does that kind of look? It looks pretty natural. There's no way I'd actually get it higher. I think with the Planet Coaster 2, they'll probably try to implement something like the Jurassic World 3. You could literally just put water up here and it will naturally just flow down how it would. But we're kind of just doing our best here with what we have. Let's go to our terrain, and I'm actually going to bring in some of this back. Go like that. Scenery lock, auto paint, that's probably fine. And I want to kind of keep this a little bit more of a kind of a cove. Let's just kind of build it up like that. A little bit more intimate, and then over here I'll build this up a little bit more. I think that'll look pretty cool, and then we'll kind of tie in this little rock face. Kind of like this. I think that is looking absolutely amazing. So I think they're going to enjoy this water. That makes me so happy. Might try and smooth these little edges, and then we can kind of start working on... Actually, let's quickly get rid of this water. I want to just make this a little bit nicer. So I think like over here, I mean, we definitely don't need as much space used over here. So let's just build this up. And we could even have another kind of mountainous area over here. And then kind of do something like this. Make it a little bit smaller. And then go up a little bit. I don't know what to do with this. I could probably just push that down a little bit just to kind of have a little nook for them. Go check out. But this will just give us some more little area. Maybe a little hill for them to play on, maybe. Why not? This is just the elephant enclosure. This is where the something cool should go. I mean, elephants are cool, but come on. This deserves like a bear enclosure or something. And honestly, I may put bears in here. We'll have to kind of see, and then I'll kind of play around with the terrain. But I think that should be a little bit better. Let's put our water in here now. Oh, that's so cool. Nice and deep. That's looking amazing. We got our water in good spot. I don't know what happened to this one. So let's just get our bottom one here. And see how deep this needs to be. Let's go a little higher. And then just put that right there. Then it kind of simulates water crashing down. That's actually so cool. Okay, our waterfall is relatively done. Let's kind of decorate this. I need to get some animals in here. But let's just like decorate this a little bit. I could have like a little rock face in here. Kind of like that, and then have a few little rocks over here. And then have that kind of built into there. And then maybe have some extra rocks just kind of along here. Just to bridge the gap of all of this. Make it look a little bit rougher, maybe. Maybe kind of like that. And make this look just a little bit nicer. This one's probably a little bit big. Let's get a couple of little nooks in here. With little rocks. Make things look a little bit more natural. And maybe kind of down here I could have something. I don't know if I love the look of that rock per se, but let's just like a little rock for some of this water to kind of splash onto. And maybe in a little platform somewhere. Well, this is a pretty cool rock. I think this could probably go like... It's just way too big is the only thing. Let's kind of just put that like there, and they can kind of go and play on that. I think I would like to have bears in here. And then over here, we'll just have a few different rocks kind of poking out. Yeah, this is already starting to look a lot more natural. Got some like little rocks kind of in here. I think I'm happy with this. And now you can kind of tie this in. Let's get our animal in here first. So what we're going to do, this is going to be our bear enclosure. I mean, it's definitely the coolest thing I've ever built. So let's go with that. Reset that. Let's go bear. So we could definitely want to get like a grizzly bear. You could also get polar bears and stuff. But let's go with the biggest grizzly bear we can find. I mean, mama bear's looking huge. So we could probably go with her. And then let's get a male one as well. Longevity. Oh, he's like almost dead. Ooh, our options are not the best. We may have to just get this one for now. Let's take a look at Zupedia. How much space do they need? Not nearly as much, which actually kind of helps us. I could just cut this off like here. Let's actually do that. So let's figure out how much space we need for our grizzly bears. And this one's probably good enough. Let's just get him as well. So again, Zupedia. What do we need? So we have the height good. Climb proof is good. We don't want like wooden ones. So I think we're good with that. And if we have like 3, even like 4 adults, 900 square meters is good enough. They don't even need water. I find that hard to believe. Maybe we will put our elephants in here. they can have a nice enclosure. And obviously we could have like a little safari or something in here as well. We can kind of just get creative with that. So let's get our elephant here. Let's go to our zoo. Go to staff and let's actually get a work zone going here. Let's do new work zone and just name it zoo. Can I rename this? Let's go zoo and then we can, press enter. So now we can actually just, where was that? So edit our work zone. We want that, all of this stuff in our zoo. I don't think there's anything anywhere else. So I think that's going to be good. So that's that first work zone. And then all of our staff will just get to work on the entire zoo. We haven't had anybody come to our zoo yet. Definitely got to get that going here. And let's just get everything. And then all these guys are kind of working wherever else. But I think we'll just put zoo for everyone just so they switch out and take turns at every different shop. We got to make sure everybody knows the entire job. We're going to have vendors being veterinarians, cleaning up garbage keepers. They're all going to do the same stuff. Just so we have the best staff possible. So I think this is good. Let's go to our habitat really quick. And let's go to our African safari. So let's go here. Where is our African safari? Elephant, savanna elephant. So now we can see what they need. So for food, let's get a nice big trough here. So I think the majority of our guests are going to probably funnel around maybe kind of just over here maybe. I could probably even have a couple of these. Let's maybe have another one over here. And then I'm also going to get some, I don't know how well this is going to work. But if I could have some glass barriers, I don't want to get greedy. Let's do thick glass. Hopefully that works. I don't want to be able to see our guests. So let's see if we can actually, oh no, we need the one-way glass. Oh, we'll kind of just see how it goes. If they don't like it, I may have to figure out another way for our guests to see our beautiful elephants. Let's also select all of this and maybe all the way up to here. And that can be thick glass as well. Honestly, maybe even this part. Why not? That can also be thick glass. We want them to be able to see as much as possible. So I think this should be a nice kind of size for all of our animals to be. Let's edit this and go all the way up to here. And I may drag this out a little more. Just to get a little bit more space out of this whole thing. What does that put us at? 36, that's perfect. We got lots of water area. That should be perfect. Then we can kind of fix this area when they come. So we can get this ready to go. Let's get our elephants. And then we can, let's grab them, move them into their new home. And then we can start preparing their food and all that good stuff. Before we get people, oh, we already got protesters. What are they even protesting? There's literally no animals here. That's kind of wild. Let's go to our, no, we want facilities. And then we want some donation bins. Let's just go to everything. Everything here, donation box. Okay, let's have a donation box here. Here, and I mean, I guess we have, I don't want to get too greedy, but I may as well fill this up with quite a few of these. So let's maybe put one here, one over here. And then maybe every second one will delete. Like, I don't need so many donation boxes. That's probably good. So we have our elephants. This thing is absolutely massive. Let's make these guys as happy as we can. Let's go to environment. Africa. So obviously, yeah, they don't want taiga. So let's just do Africa. And let's start with our terrain. So hard shelter, let's get them some hard shelters. So it's habitat. And we can go to beds. I think what we'll do is just get them like one of these. And then it can like, oh, this is so cool actually. Let's just put it like right along here. And in fact, let's actually flatten this area out a little bit. They're elephants. We don't need to make their lives any harder than they are. Let's just flatten this area out. We don't need to break any other ankles here. Let's go a little bit smaller along here. And then build it into this area just to kind of fill it in. I still like the idea of all this, but I don't want it to just like impede the rest of our zoo. So I think that's probably fine. Let's fix a little bit there. And now we can get our habitat for them. I really like this one. This is also nice, but this one's like pretty sweet. Or we can get like, we got these ones as well. Ooh, this one's like got glass over it. I think let's go with this one. They don't seem too happy right now. So let's just get that. And then we can kind of fix this area. Let's fix this a little bit. Flatten it out in here. Kind of just like that maybe. And then we can kind of have it built into the little mountain face there. So I think they'll be happy with that. That's good hard shelter. We got lots of space, lots of water. Let's get our grass figured out. So they would like more short grass, less long grass. I think that's pretty much the whole enclosure. So let's just grab all of this and make it shorter grass. We'll probably have to trim our grass around here as well. I think that's going to be good. So they're happy with that. You want to keep this on the high side early on because now we can add soil. Let's just go with light soil and kind of draw in wherever they are going to be kind of trampling along. We got some food over here, so I think we'll get a little bit over there. And in this middle area, they'll probably hang out a little bit. A little bit of soil over here. But keep the heavier bits of it kind of in the middle. I think that looks pretty natural. And then a little bit of grass just to kind of thin it out a little bit more. A little bit more in the middle. That's looking pretty good. And obviously where they're eating, you want to have some heavier soil. And then where they're sleeping, basically mostly soil. So I think I'm happy with that. We could get some rock. Let's maybe do some rough rock along here. He's already enjoying the water, so that makes me real happy. Let's paint some rock along here. This is looking beautiful. We'll have to do something with this. Well, let's get that back actually. Let's keep a little bit of grass on top of there. This is so cool. Paint a little bit of rock in here. Actually, let's keep most of that grass. That's looking pretty beautiful. So a little bit of rock as you enter in maybe. Something like that. Actually, that's kind of weird looking, isn't it? So let's just get rid of that. I'm just pressing Control Z or Control Z for Canadians and all that. So I'm happy with that. Let's go to our environment. They have good plants and they have good coverage. I guess they don't need a whole lot going on. I feel like they could use a different kind of grass, but they should be nice and happy here. Let's get some trees for them. Let's make sure we go Africa. And we can get some of their favorite trees. You gotta have, I mean, where is that thing? Where's that like safari? Yeah, one of these, the umbrella trees. Gotta have one of those in the middle. And I may even put one like over here. Just to shade this area a little bit more. Let's go a little bit lower, kind of like that. And then we could have a few more maybe. We'll have to see. There's like little trees over here we can put in. And I think we could probably get another one. Kind of just like there. And they should be quite happy with all of that. We got little ferns we can throw in as well. This is a pretty cool tree that's very... it's very... What's the word I'm looking for? Actually, they don't like that one, so let's get rid of it. For some reason, they don't. It's very Lion King is what I was trying to say. These ones are definitely cool. Let's actually move this one over. Have a little bit more space in between. Now let's get some, what can we get? Cypress trees. That's a little bit weird. Let's get some of this stuff in here. So this stuff looks amazing. Kind of just like in these little spots. Let's kind of just get a little bit along there. And kind of just in little areas. Like I could probably have a little bit there. Tiny bit there. And that really brings everything together. I think that actually looks really nice. I might go with a little bit smaller here or just move it in a little bit more. I think I'm happy with that. That looks beautiful. Look at them enjoying that. Let's take a look at these. Oh, they're huge. This is already looking amazing. So I'm really glad I did that waterfall. Hopefully they can enjoy it. But this is looking absolutely beautiful. I also, let's check out our traversable areas. So you can go to your heat maps, traversable area for you. You click on your animal, you gotta see where they can get in and out. So it doesn't look like they can actually escape there, so that's great. They are unable to get out, so that is exactly what we are going for. Can we call a keeper and get these things filled, please? That would make me happy. Let's make these guys a little bit happier. So coverage, I think they're good with that kind of stuff. I mean, I could get like, got some palm trees we can throw in here. Kind of weird to have palm trees here, even though we're, I don't know. I just don't think a palm tree would like, it would snow around here. Palm trees wouldn't even survive here, to be honest. I would assume. Got a nice holly tree. This could kind of go out in front. And then I think they should be pretty happy with that. Then we can get like little bushes. Let's get like some bushes out here. Kind of like that. We can get some on the bottoms of these trees because they would kind of have a little bit of growth. Let's just go kind of like maybe like that maybe. And then over here we could have a little bit of growth. This is such a random little tree. I'm just gonna get rid of that. And then maybe just get like all these tiny little ones. Let's get a bigger tree over here. That's probably a little bit cooler. And then we can get, I still like this stuff. I mean, let's maybe get a little bit as they enter in. Maybe kind of like right there. That's not horrible. And then you can kind of just get them wherever. Like just a little bit in, well, I guess let's just put a little bit extra over here. And then kind of just where they're eating. And then maybe over here have a nice big bush. And then kind of just decorate. It's kind of hard to fill up all of these middle spots. But yeah, elephants, they definitely don't like too much stuff in their way. So I think they're going to be happy with that. Let's get some enrichment items for them. I still don't know if I'm done with my enclosure, but I'm just going to get a couple things to make them happy in the meantime. I could get them a little beaver pool. I feel like that would be kind of cool. I could even put that like, well, where can we put this? Maybe even like right here. I feel like that would be super cool. It kind of messes with our terrain a little bit though. Let's kind of just put it like there. Let's just put it like there. I think that's good. Nice in the shade. Looks beautiful. Maybe a mud bath or two. I think I want this to go kind of in the middle where people can see. We got really good toy enrichment. Gotta have like a large tire for them to kick around as well. Maybe even a couple of sprinklers. Let's put a sprinkler. I think they could be, well, that's kind of where their food is. Let's maybe just put one in the middle. And then we can actually, I think we can adjust how far out it goes. I don't think we can. I think one sprinkler is probably good. And then we can see what else we can get for them. So food enrichment, I think they'll be They'll be pretty happy with all that. This would be kind of cool. A little scatter feeder. I don't want to make this too congested, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's get, that's food nourishment. We could also get like a little hanging barrel, which would be quite cool. Oh, he's already chilling in the... Let's just get a little hanging barrel. We got to clean up this poop. Let's just get that maybe right there. That's looking quite nice. And then if we can maybe do a little bit more with the terrain. I mean, most of this poop's kind of in the way. Let's just get rid of these really quick. Now, I want to do something more with our terrain. Like I could kind of just have little hills for it to kind of chill on. Little dips and valleys maybe. Actually just go a little wider and a bit less. Let's raise that up a little bit. And then over here I could probably have something like a nice little hill for them to kind of play on. Just to close this off a little bit. Maybe bump up our intensity a tiny bit. Let's get rid of that poop. Okay, there we go. And maybe get rid of some of that. And just make it look as natural as possible. I also want to do something in there for them. I could probably get little places for them to lay. But I think that'll be good. Let's get some food for them again. Nice big feeding trough. So let's put one maybe just over here again, but I just don't know where to put it. Maybe I can fix this terrain. There we go. Maybe push that down a little bit. Something like that. And then I can get another feeding trough for them. Maybe just right there. And then we can call for some food to be delivered, please. We don't want them to go hungry. And then I think what I might do, let's go to our beds and shelters. And I can get some nice little places for them to lay. Maybe kind of like that. A little bit in the middle. There's a lot of space around here. Let's maybe put a little bit of this stuff in here. I don't know. Maybe kind of like that. And then maybe some rocks. Might look pretty sweet. That would actually really tie this together. So let's get like maybe a nice flat rock in here for them to kind of chill on. Or chill around. And maybe in here I could get something. And then maybe a nice rock right there. Just to tie this together a little bit. And then I could probably just put like some rocks along here. Maybe some little ones. Doesn't always have to be such big rocks. Let's actually make this look a little bit nicer. A little rock there maybe. And just kind of fill this in. Just some natural, different types of rocks. It always looks good to have rocks near like these kind of boulders, but I think I may have to use taiga. Let's go to biome and use these rocks instead. Maybe do some like this. That might look pretty nice. And then what I might do is just get... I think we'll have to actually go back to our Africa biome. Or continent, sorry. Let's go to Africa. And I want to get these little grasses again. Where did those go? I really liked those. I mean, these are a little bit different. Here they are. So I can get little ones here. I think that'll be good. And then maybe just have like a bigger one. Well, that's probably enough. And then I did spot this. We got little grass throughout here that I can put. in a couple of spots, like maybe a little bit of grass in there. And we can kind of just fill this in a little bit more. In a couple of spots. And it kind of just ties everything together nicely. A little bit of grass here and there. Make sure none of it's floating. And then I think around here I'd like to put something. It'd be kind of cool to have this mud bath like near some water, but I think we could just keep it there. Maybe put a little bit of grass around there. And then maybe a little tree over top of this might be kind of cool. Not that. That's definitely a lot. I think I'm probably happy with that. I could probably have a tree over here. I don't think they would be objective to that. I think it would kind of just look nice. I need a big enough one here. Yeah, something like that, but they don't actually like that one. I checked. Yeah, let's maybe just get a tree there, and then our overall enclosure is actually looking quite nice. I really like that. This is all grass again, so I'm going to quickly adjust our terrain. Make sure they don't hate it. Yeah, we need some more soil, so let's paint some more of that in. A little bit more soil around here. Let's actually get our short grass again. I don't think it'll like what we did with that. Get some soil around here, and that's kind of what we were missing. A little bit of soil around here. We finally have hay in here. Look at that. Looks beautiful. Okay. That is looking quite nice. They're nice and happy. That all looks good. Enrichment looks perfect. And social, they could use one more, but I think they'll have to take care of that. So this is looking absolutely beautiful. I think what I will need to do is get some, I mean, I could fill in this little area. Let's maybe get like something cool here. Like a nice big rock, or I can maybe do, let's do blueprints. Well, maybe construction. And then we could do like centerpieces. Like we got these little settings. Like this would be so cool. But it's like alligators. I want to get something like that, but not alligators. I mean, alligators would be so cool in the zoo. I don't think it really fits this whole vibe. Maybe like a hippo with a couple little things around it. This is a beautiful little centerpiece. Oh, this is cool. Honestly, I might even just do this. Is that center nicely? How does that look? That's beautiful. I actually really like that. I might move it just a touch, so it's not so... Let's put it like right there. That looks really nice, actually. And then we can get a couple more trees kind of along here. I think I would like that. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way this little enclosure turned out. So I think that's going to be great. Got a nice little waterfall down here, looking amazing. I may put like a tree up here or something. I don't know, just something. Let's actually go to taiga though. Continent, no, we want biome. Taiga, I think like a big old spruce tree maybe up here might be kind of cool. Maybe a little one kind of down there. Just to kind of tie it all together, and then maybe just like a... just the heck of it, let's just put one like there as well. That's actually so cool. Okay, I love it. This is... ooh. This is a little bit of a problem. I may have to edit this and see if I can drag it. Can I take this out? I mean, they can't really get out, but I mean... some sneaky little kid can come in there into the elephant enclosure. That'll only make it more interesting, right? So I think I'm fine with that. Let's maybe figure out a new enclosure. So this could be something. I don't know what I want it to be. Like I could definitely have some other little things in this area. Let's maybe take this up. Maybe let's go length 3 and size about 6. And then we could just go all the way up through here. I'd like to actually get a little glass barrier over here as well. And then I guess what I can do, let's take it this way. And then we can actually have a little way around the back of a new enclosure. I feel like that would be kind of cool. And then just have a little enclosure right in here. I feel like that would be pretty neat. So let's turn this into glass. Our elephants seem pretty happy still, and as long as you keep them happy, I think they don't ruin your entire enclosure, but I think this will look pretty good. We'll get maybe one more donation bin. We're actually making great money here, even though we have unlimited money. Let's duplicate it and get even more greedy. And let's get some, we have some garbage issues littering our land here. So let's get a couple more garbages. I could probably have one just right next to there. Right next to our bins. Maybe one right on the edge. I think that might look pretty good. And then I think I might even just put a few bins around here. Just kind of like that. Just for a little extra garbage coverage. I think that looks pretty good. I gotta figure something out to do with this, but let's maybe finish this little enclosure. So if we're gonna get, I mean, if we got our bears, we already have them ready to go. Actually, do we ever move them to, I don't think we ever sent them to quarantine. So let's quickly do that. I don't want to put them in for our elephants. I do not want to learn that lesson the hard way. Oh my gosh. I may have to get him just for the size. He's kind of just the golden bear, so I may have to get him. That's going to be a lot of testosterone in that enclosure, but we'll have to just see. But let's also add him to our quarantine zone. Perfect. And then I will just see the Zoopedia here. So if we have 3 adult bears, what would that look like? So 850, I feel like I should be able to take care of that. Climb proof is important. And then minus 10 to 28 degrees. It's only 20 degrees here, so I think that's perfect. A nice summer day. So what I might do here is just get a little barrier. I think we could probably go with a concrete one again, just to keep it safe. And let's just start it. I mean, I could probably even come right off of here. Let's add one right off of here and kind of curve it in. And this could just be our entrance to it, and then kind of start going this way. I think I like that. And we can kind of make it as big as we need to. And then I might even curve this around right up to there. Let's do about a 10. And it can kind of stop there. And then I'll just null barrier it all the way to here. So this could actually be a problem now. Let's actually just take this, delete that, and just take this a little bit further maybe. Let's go really short, like 2 meters. Well, maybe even like 4 meters. Well, let's do 3 meters. We can just take it right to there. And then I don't think they can get around here. In fact, let's move this over just a tiny bit and make sure they can. So that actually looks more natural anyway. I love it. And now we can do this. So let's just, I guess we can kind of keep this a null barrier. Let's just get rid of that. Let's go null barrier, add it right off of here. And this can go, yeah, let's add one off of here. And then we can kind of just go the edge of this. I guess we don't need it that. Let's go a little bit longer. Yeah, we can kind of just do this and then come all the way back. And then we can kind of just use the mountain to connect there. So that is nicely connected. And I think that should actually be perfect. So let's get a little entrance. Go to our barriers, get a little habitat entrance right off of here. Nice and centered, just like that. And then we'll just get a little path here. So let's go, I think it's, yeah, let's come off of there. Let's see, let's lower our width. We'll go to 4. And then lower this. We can literally just do that. I think that's perfect. And now we can get our bears here. So how big is this enclosure? This is actually pretty big. They'll have lots of space, which I definitely enjoy. Now, what might actually be cool? Now, this might be hard to do, and I may have to fix my path. I wonder if I can... Let's do a... Yeah, keep 2, and then let's go about a 6. I wonder if I can go straight up. No, I think I will have to bring this back a little bit. Let's delete this path. I'll keep this where it is, but I think this little area I can kind of swing in a little bit closer. We can kind of do something like that. I'll have to go back even a little bit further. And let's go straight up, and then we can actually come straight down. And what I would like to do is just have a little area for them to actually come and go right into the habitat. I think that'd be so cool. So I'll actually go a little bit further back here. And then I can just grab this and start coming in this way. Let's go about... Well... do something like this. And then we can do this. So we connect that part. And then connect that part, and then this can just connect to there. Perfect. So I think that works out the best. And what I want to do with this is hopefully get... Let's see if I can have a little floater right kind of in the middle here. I think I'd like to have it like right there. Align it to the grid. If I could turn it a little bit, that would be nice. Let's maybe... Actually, let's just do this. And then I can align this to the grid and then just do this. Oh, that's a shame that it did that. But I think that should actually be fine. And then they can actually just like hang out in here. But I think what I might do is instead of that, let's curve out like this way. I think that would be a little bit cooler. And then we can have something like that in the middle. That's actually so cool. Okay, I'm happy with that. And then I'll put some railings on here. That's actually wicked. That's so cool. So let's take this and go smaller. Keep it at about 2, and we can kind of just take it straight out. Maybe kind of just like that, and then a little bit just off to the side. Something like that. And then let's add some railings here. So railings on elevated and path. So let's do this. We'll also have to put some on our stairs. That's important. And hopefully this works. Yeah, we can just go all the way around. For our railings, that's actually so cool. So they can actually come all the way up here to see these bears. Hopefully the bears can't climb this, but I guess we will find out. And then this part, I don't really know. Yeah, I guess I could maybe wrap this all the way around. Let's turn off our railings again and go back here. So let's go, I think it was size 6. And let's just continue it around. Let's just go size 1 maybe. And then this could just go all the way around to there. And then I don't really know what to do with this. I guess I could maybe close this in some more. Is this like water? I'm actually kind of curious. Oh my gosh. That's literally a whole river they dug out just for this. That's wild. Well, we can get it back. But if I wanted to adjust this part, I definitely could. Probably fine. I could probably have like a bathroom. Oh, we need a bathroom. Okay, let's maybe get one of those quick. Guest facilities, we need a toilet. Let's turn that off. So let's just get a toilet for these poor people. So I think what we could do is just have one like right here. We got these New World ones, which are pretty neat. A European toilet, or just toilet blocks. Let's just go with like this one. And it can just go right off of here. Don't need to overcomplicate it. Boom, bathroom. Now, I think we could even get another one somewhere. We don't really need to. I think this is probably good. Let's keep our bathroom there. We have lots of guests already, so that is perfect. I'm also going to quickly do this. If we go to facilities, go to our media devices and education, we can get a little board. Habitat education board, I can put these like on here, or I can get a stand-up one. So let's just put this like right here. We can turn it on to our elephants. We're gonna need some more power over here, but that is fine. We can get a few of these along here. And maybe over here as well, kind of just next to this donation bin. Yeah, they're donating lots. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need some more power. I could just turn power off. Honestly, I might do that. Just so we don't really have to worry about... Well, no, let's do it. Let's play by the rules here. Facilities, let's get our utilities. And we can get a nice one, or we can just get a solar panel. Now, a solar panel would be kind of nice. That doesn't get us very far. A transformer just like covers most of our zoo. So I could probably put this right here. And then that would give us power for absolutely everything here. And we have that over here as well. So let's get another one over here so we can educate our guests from this angle. Beautiful. And then I think we even should have a little bit of power over here, but this is ready for our bears anytime they are ready. So let's go to our habitat. I think we have a nice height for them. Let's get some glass. I don't think they should be able to climb this, so I think that'll be just fine. Yeah, let's just make all of this glass, and then I'll keep that concrete. So let's go thick glass. We'll have to kind of see. I could probably even do one-way glass. Not climbable, water tight. Let's actually do a one-way glass, because I don't think they would like to see that, because it's a bear. I don't think they can break that anyway. So let's just go one way, and then we can go to here, flip it. Oh no, I guess we want the other way. So now they can't see out, but our guests can see in. So I think that'll be quite nice. And then obviously people can see up here. This is the best view of the entire park. So let's go to habitat. Let's go to our bears. I think it's just like under grizzly bears, maybe. Yes, grizzly bears. So now we can get a little habitat for them. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. We could even just do... I mean, I'd even like to just get something for them. Let's just go... One of these might be kind of neat. I do worry about them being able to climb out a little bit. So let's maybe get something else instead. Like I could even get them like this thing. And then hopefully they can't climb out, but I think that should be good. A little area for them. And in fact, let's maybe flatten this a tiny bit. Just, well, that's pretty much the best we can do anyway. I think this one's a little bit better anyway, so let's just put it right there. I think that's probably good. That'll give us some shelter. And they don't really need any water, so I think they'll be happy with what they have. Let's get our bears into this enclosure. But I guess before we do that, we could get some food for them. We got some food trays. I feel like they need water. They definitely need water. So I think we could do... I'm not necessarily gonna... Well, honestly, I could get a little waterfall coming down here as well. Oh, you know what? That would actually be so cool. I am going to adjust that. So let's keep this... I think I'm definitely going to do that. Then I'm just going to have like a big... let's get rid of that, that, and that. And then maybe that one. And then I'll have my waterfall kind of come down here. So let's adjust this. I'm going to get rid of our water right here. And then we can adjust our terrain a little bit. So let's go down. I think I'm just going to come right down in this area. Nice big waterfall. I think that should be pretty good. Let's test this really quick. It's obstructed. It doesn't like... Yeah, it's not going to be able to... Let's maybe try like that. Let's even push like into this area. But then a little bit deeper over here maybe. And then we can adjust this. So that's even a better height. Now, if I could get this as close as possible, I think I'd love to do that. Yeah, that's probably as close as I'm going to get it. Now, I'm going to adjust this a little bit just to keep it looking nicer. Let's make a nice little entryway for them. And then maybe even build it up a little bit here. Let's adjust that a tiny bit. And just have a nice little entryway for that. So let's put our water in here. Go as deep as we can. I think that's going to look perfect. And now I think I should be able to make this work. So again, this needs to be a negative angle. So let's get rid of this barrier as well. Let's get rid of that. And now we can kind of just do whatever we want with this. We can push this in if it'll let us. And kind of have a negative as long as we have that. Should be good. And then have a nice little area for a tall pool at the bottom. I think might be kind of cool. Okay, let's go as deep into the mountain as we can. And then we can just... Honestly, I think I even like that. I can kind of hide this with some rocks. Or just do a couple of those maybe. And then I think we can make this work. So let's just go right off of here. Let's go deep. Right like that. And then we can kind of just get what we need in here. I think they would like some water. They definitely have too much space anyway, so we might as well. Let's get some nice deep space for these guys. This will be a really cool little waterfall area. And then they won't be able to get over here, so they can stay out of trouble. I think that'll be good. And then let's kind of fix some of this. Let's do something like this. We could even fix that a little bit. And then... Oh gosh, I deleted the entire habitat. How long ago is that? Well, that kind of sucks. I'll just have to redraw it in here. So let's just delete that up to about there. And then we'll have to just redo this really quick. Yeah, I think that should be just fine. And then we'll get our little barrier in here. Connect it right to that. And that should be perfect. Hopefully these elephants are they pretty happy? Habitats have become merged and invalid. Remove excess habitat. Okay, that's fine. I'll be able to kind of separate them a little bit here, so that'll be fine. Hopefully they're not too mad about that nutrition. They could be a little happier, but they are doing all right. Habitat boundary issues. I think it should be fine. Yeah, let's just finish our waterfall first. So I think this should be good to finish the rest of this. So let's just do something like this. And then let's push this back even in a couple little areas. I think like let's get a little bit more space here. Let's up our intensity a tiny bit. And then I'll just create a little bit of space along here. Maybe actually like, let's go a little bit deeper over here. Just to create, I want to kind of do like a little tunnel area over here. So let's just go a little bit deeper. That's fine. Doesn't really matter how deep we go. And I just do something like that and then fix all this. So we can have a little tunnel area. They can kind of walk this way. Then I'll only fill up to about there. Would that work though? Let's actually go a little higher with this then, if that's the case. And then off of this, we can lower our intensity and just create a little area for them to climb into that water. Kind of just like this. It's going to be quite steep, but I think it should be just fine. Let's test this out really quick, see where that gets us. That actually fills all of this, which I don't necessarily hate. Honestly, that's not bad. Like they can kind of, this is a nice natural little spot for them to enter the water. And if I could create a little false front for all of this, I think that would be pretty good. So let's just adjust this. And then I can do something like this as well. And then kind of just angle this. You can actually do this, like actually create an angle for them, which is kind of cool actually. And then you can sculpt it a little bit based off that. That's kind of neat. Let's push that down a little bit and then see kind of where we're at. So I think I still want them to have lots of space. I don't want it just all water. In fact, let's just do this and then we can push this back even a little bit more. Have a nice little waterfall in here. Yeah, I think something like that might be kind of cool. Let's just fix this. A nice little area in here. I'll see how this looks. Let's go a little higher, and that is what we're going for. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Got a nice little area for them to have water, and then we could have a giant waterfall here. So let's go back to construction and see what we can come up with. Let's go back to top, and we can get our 10 meter one. So that's 10 meters wide, I'm assuming. So I think that'll be pretty good. Let's just go right off of here. And then we can just do something like this. This will be a nice big waterfall, and this will actually be perfect. And then we can do mid. Do a 10 meter section, and this will actually just go all the way to the ground, I think. Or it'll kind of just fall. I think that'll be pretty good. And then we'll merge them nicely. That's actually so cool. Got a sweet waterfall there. I would have got a little bit deeper in here, but I don't know. I don't know. It's fine. And then let's get some bottom. Let's do 10. And this will be our, let's see, let's go as high up as we can just so it looks good. And we can add some just at the bottom of this. And I kind of offset it a little bit there. I think that's definitely cool. And I might even go a little bit more here. Kind of like that maybe, and kind of just wherever you think it would all splash down. That's perfect. So we got a wicked looking waterfall in here. We got to get our bears in here first of all. So we got our water. That's perfect. Let's go back to habitat. We got our grizzly bear. Let's get a large food tray for them. Could probably just put that right there. And then I actually want to get some underwater fish feeders. I think that'd be kind of cool. We could check that out. So they'll actually put some fish up here. Put that there. think they'll be happy with that. They have lots of water. The other thing we need to do is get facilities. We need water treatment for all of this. So we're already good with that. We definitely need some water treatment here. So let's go with, I mean, we either got to cover this whole area. I might even just get this like over here. I feel like that's a pretty good little spot. That's not bad. Then we can have some water treatment there. This is already getting quite brown, so we definitely want to take care of that. Let's go to our heat maps here, and water could be taken care of. I guess we'll find out. Oh, it's not powered. Okay, so this is where it's like, okay, I think I am just going to turn the power off. There we go. We have turned power everything on. So now it is operational, and then we can see that is being treated as well as all of that. And then even over here, I think that's kind of just natural. But this needs to be treated, so that's important. This should be turning a nice healthy blue pretty soon here. It's going to look like that soon. So that's perfect. We need to go, let's get our animals over here. Let's get a couple of bears. All of them. We got 3 bears coming. 2 males, 1 female. Let's move them into... Is that not... I guess I might have to do my work zones here. So let's go to our work zones and then edit it. Oh no, we don't want to start a new one. Let's just go back to zoo, edit work zone. Add that, add that, add that. Make sure all of that is enabled. And then we need to fix this. So we have our waterfall. That's perfect. I kind of want to like fix this a little bit. This just looks a little bit goofy. Let's go a little bit higher there. 70 should be fine. We can make this just a little bit more. Get some grassy spots maybe. Like this just looks a little bit too on the nose. I kind of just fill in the spots like that. I kind of want to keep this. I want this to be able to like climb up here. I think that'd be kind of cool. Let's actually do that. Let's create a little area for them to do that. Then we can kind of just adjust this a little bit. Make it look a little bit more cliff facey. Okay. Oh, elephant is about to have an offspring, so that's definitely cool. Push that back a little bit, and then let's get rid of our water really quick. And then we can just do that. And then we can add our water back. Beautiful. Can we go even higher? Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. So that's looking nice. I think they should be able to kind of get up. What the heck happened to it? Well, I pretty much got rid of it. Well, that's fine, honestly. Let's just get it back. We got our water set up there. Our bears should be able to come in. So now we need our null barrier. So let's edit this barrier. We can come off of here. And just do whatever we can just to get over there. So I guess I'll have to just do something. Let's just go on the cliff face here. And then we can just follow this. And then slowly go down. Back to there. There we go. And then we can just connect to there. So that should be its own enclosure now. I think. Yeah, we should be good now. Terrain, that all looks good. Water area is a lot, but that's fine. They still have lots of land area. I think they'll be happy with that. So now we can actually get our bears into there. Let's actually double check. Yeah, this is... Oh gosh, what happened? What keeps happening? Let's edit this. Oh, we made this a null, so that's fine. Concrete. Concrete. And then that should be fine. let's click on this. Multiple habitat gates. Edit barrier. We'll just have to fix this last little bit. Connect it to there, and now I think we're good. What the heck keeps happening? Oh, I made that a null barrier. This is a nightmare. Okay, I think that should be fine now. There, that's an enclosure. And now this is an enclosure. Although I don't think this goes all the way to there. So let's quickly just come off of here. Go straight to there. And now I think we're good. Okay, now we're good. We got 2 separate barriers. So that's perfect. Let's get our bears. Speaking of barriers, let's select all of them. And now I think we can finally move them into this habitat. Beautiful. So they're on their way. Let's go back to our zoo and make sure our work zones are looking good. So we got that work zone. Let's get this. That's looking perfect now. And then everybody's pretty much set to the zoo. So I'm happy with it. This is going to look so cool once we have like another enclosure up top here. That's going to look really cool. Here we have our bears and they are already fighting. So that's great. They already hate each other. So we may have to do something. These things are huge. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine getting in a fight with them? So, and then the poor female is just hanging out. Actually, oh, that is female. We may have to remove one of these males. I'm not going to lie. But we will have to see. Let's go here and go traversable area. Click on you. And it's perfect. They can't get out, so that is great. Let's make them nice and happy now. So heart shelter, I guess they're happy with just this. They're just gonna sleep under this. So honestly, I guess what I could do, since they're happy with it, I'll just add a couple little things underneath here. And then I think they'll be nice and happy with that. Maybe a little bit under here. Keep them nice and happy, why not? So that's gonna be good. Got lots of area for them. They have deep water. Let's get our terrain figured out. So we got short grass. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. They don't want any long grass in here. So let's just get rid of it all. All of it is gone. Kind of fix all that area. And then all of this around here. And there. And that should be good. It still says we have too much long grass. I don't even know where it is. I guess kind of along here. We'll have to fix this after, but I just need to make sure we don't have any long grass anywhere. It still says we have some, but I mean, along here maybe. It looks a little bit weird, but we'll figure it out after. I just need to make sure. Okay. 10% long grass. That's good. And now we need to get some soil. So let's throw in some of that. Let's put some soil along the edges. Mostly rock around there. So I think that's going to be good. They're going to be hanging out along here mostly. So let's just kind of throw it in there. This whole area, they'll be walking out. And then our keeper coming in and out. And then over here, we'll have to kind of get something as well. A nice little area along there. And a couple little different walking areas. I kind of put soil wherever you simulate them walking. Is usually what looks pretty good. Lots of soil for these guys. And then we'll get some rock for them. We already have people coming to view these guys. That's amazing. Lots of soil along here. That's looking pretty good. Now let's get some rough rock. Kind of along here, we'll get some. The bears. That thing is huge. They're kind of just swimming along there. Absolutely love it. So let's get some rock along here. This whole cliff face should basically be rock. Kind of up here, and we'll keep a little bit of the grass. And I just do that. I could auto paint. Where's auto paint? Let's just do that actually. This actually just does it based on where it actually is and what's kind of there. Like it does keep some grass there. And then you can kind of just go along here and then it automatically does what it thinks it should be. Like that's actually so cool. And it keeps it really natural. So that's what we want. Might do a little bit more rough rock along here. Get rid of some of that grass. We still have too much long grass. That is that. Let's actually just get some short grass up top there. A little bit along there. Yeah, those guys are fighting again. Honestly, that's just more of a show for our guests. I mean, they won't like it too much, but I think they will be fine. And I still gotta get rid of some long grass here. Where did that go? A little bit around here, maybe. And let's just do the rest soil. Kind of just like that. So I think they'll be nice and happy with that. I could get them some snow in these Rocky Mountains, but there's not really any snow anywhere else. So I think let's just leave that. Let's maybe get a little bit of soil here. Up top there. I think they'll be nice and happy with that for terrain. Now environment. So let's go North America. I guess I'll just do North America. Some bald cypress trees. Like these are really cool. And I don't want them to, we gotta be careful, otherwise they'll climb up here. So I'm gonna put like a tree right here. Even though that'd be so cool. I could probably do like a smaller one maybe. I feel like they'll be able to escape if they climb that tree. So let's just put one like right there. They shouldn't be able to make that jump. Then maybe a couple of other cool trees. Maybe just like that one. And then maybe some smaller ones here or there. Maybe kind of like that. Then what other trees do we have? We got like some spruce trees. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think they should be able to climb those. So let's just put that like right there. Get a couple of other ones. Maybe some smaller ones. A couple around here. And then over here I'll put a few. Those might be kind of cool. Maybe around there. And let's kind of just get everything that we can. We don't want any palm trees, really. Palm and ash tree, they might like that. Let's make sure they're happy with all the trees they have. And then maybe one over here as well. Maybe like a... For some reason, these small little trees just look so awkward in here unless you have something near it. I also like this elm tree, like kind of just trees wherever you can get them. It'd also be kind of cool if I had a little like area for them to kind of play up here. Should I maybe try that? I might try that. Let's get rid of our water. And then I'm just gonna figure this out. So let's get rid of this. Go to terrain, and then what I can do is just take right off of here and go right to about the middle of where I want this little island to be. Kind of just like along here, maybe. Maybe kind of over here a tiny bit. And then I just fill in the rest with water, so I can get rid of this. Maybe fill in the bottom just so it's not too awkward. Obviously you want to make it natural. And I'll still keep my fishies there. I think that'll be pretty good. And then we can kind of just fill in this little area. They can kind of just swim around. So I think that'll be good. Let's lower this a little bit more. Obviously that'll put grass in here, but I think that's probably fine. Let's see what that looks like. That is beautiful. Let's go a little bit higher. That's even better. So now they can kind of swim. They can go up here if they want. I think that'll be really cool. Now, well, we actually did go a little bit higher, didn't we, here? Let's actually grab all of these. And advance move them all upwards a tiny bit right there. So it looks a little bit better. So I think that's going to be good. We got some more water. They're fighting again. But I think overall that's going to be the best. And then we got lots of water over here. I think we'll have to... what the heck happened with our camera here? This one will have to move a little bit off to the side. And then maybe these ones... This one will maybe just dig a little deeper. And then move this one over a little bit. And then over here I want to do something cool. Now... what that is, I don't know. I can get some cool rocks maybe. These are North American rocks. Let's go with like some taiga rocks. And then we could just build like a little... I'd like to build a little thing for them to kind of climb on. Or I could even get like a little climbable... like maybe something like this I could put on top of that. I don't know. Or let's kind of make them one. We can get a little bit creative here. So let's go nature. Scroll all the way to the bottom to taiga. And then we can kind of fill this in. So let's get a little stepping stone here. I think I could maybe do something like that. And then maybe get rid of this. I don't know if I love that. And have a nice natural little rock area. I think that'd be pretty neat. And then maybe something like that. And then obviously I need to be able to get up there. So let's see if I can like make a little stepping stone for them. I don't know. Kind of like that maybe. And then another one raised up a little bit higher, and then they can kind of just walk up this thing, and then maybe even like... well, that's probably too big. Man, those guys are still fighting over there. Let's maybe fill this in a little bit. Honestly, I might even do something like that. That's actually pretty cool. And then I'll just get like a tree up here. Like one of these, I don't know. That's actually pretty huge. I don't know if I love those ones. Let's maybe go with like a nice pine tree. Maybe one there. And then something a little bit... these are kind of cool. Those are nifty. And then these rainbow trees. What do I want to put here? Cedar trees. I don't know if I love those. I feel like this would be pretty cool. Let's put that there. And then we got like some cool trees. And then obviously some like bushes. Let's cut the grass a little bit. They don't like grass. And then some soil around there, and then maybe even some like smooth rock on top there. Maybe a little bit more grass. Kind of just like that. Hopefully they can actually get up there. Kind of hoping they can. In fact, let's maybe fix our terrain a little bit more. Like if I could raise this up a tiny bit, I can kind of... well, that's just weird. What the heck is going on with this? I think it's because our rocks are in the way. Oh, that's really gonna suck. I may have to move this over just for a second. And then I'll move it back once I get this figured out. this, and then what we'll do is lower this. Let's get a little bit more maybe. And then they could even kind of walk across here to get to that. Like they're already enjoying that. Look at it. Let's see if he can go up there. That'd be kind of cool. He might be able to. And then we can kind of just lower this now. And make sure that this is low enough that the water kind of comes up there. So let's try that. Boil the guy. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So now they can actually swim and walk up here. And then we can grab this. All of this stuff. This whole scene. That and that. I think that's it. And then we can drag it back. Kubo right there. Make sure we grab that little rock as well. Boom, right there. I think that's perfect. Let's lock that in. And then adjust our terrain a little bit. Let's get some short grass, some soil again. Actually, let's just do auto paint. I think that would probably be the most accurate for this little area. I mean, we could keep some long grass and then just trim the little areas of where it all is, maybe. I think that might be pretty good. And then we'll just get some soil here and there. Got some elephants right next to our grizzly bears. Hopefully they're not too mad about that. This is looking pretty good. And now what I can do is get little grasses. Like I could get like this thing up here. I feel like that would be pretty cool. It's just a little pile of leaves. Actually, let's maybe go with this one. A little bit lower. Something like that. And then maybe... Oh, that's too big. Maybe a little bit of leaves like right there. Oh, that's so cool. A little bit here. I don't know if I love that. Enough to be able to work. I think that's pretty cool. Keeps it nice and natural, and then you can get some grass. Kind of fill this in with a little bit of grass. Stuff like that might look kind of nice. A little bit of that here or there. And then we'll get some rocks and kind of beautify this. But I think if I'm gonna... like these little shrubs. Maybe just get a few of those throughout here. And kind of spin them around. I think that'll look pretty cool. Lower that a tiny bit. This is already looking pretty sweet. So I'm just going to leave that. That looks pretty natural to me. In fact, let's maybe just get rid of this little... Get rid of that. No, can't get rid of that. That's fine. This is in a weird spot. These bears absolutely hate each other. Let's make them happy, at least before... And they're quite hungry as well, so let's make them happy. They have some food now. Our poor guy doesn't get attacked there. And they're going to be fighting over food, so there we go. That'll help with that. This is all looking good. We need a little more soil, I guess. Let's get some more soil for these guys. Guess we could put some up here. I don't know how to get them more soil. Let's just put soil where more grass is. Like fill in these spots, the edges. And then I think that'll be good. Let's see, a little bit here. Oh no, they need less soil. What am I doing? Let's actually go back. Maybe some more small grass. We'll get. Keep that nice and beautiful. A little bit more small grass, maybe. Okay, that is perfect. So that'll keep them happy. Environment, they actually want a little more coverage still, which is kind of crazy. So I guess I could get like, I already have a beech tree. I have a few of those actually. Let's just get like maybe one of these. That they will be able to climb. And I don't think that would be a very good thing. I could do like another ash tree. I don't really know where to put this. That's an ash tree. Honestly, they are happy with their coverage. So if I like the look of this, which I kind of do, I can kind of just leave this now. But I think I wouldn't mind like a little tree here. A little Christmas tree maybe. That might be kind of cool. Let's just get like a little holly tree, and then that kind of helps. Maybe some little trees under here. They might kind of like maybe a little bush here and there. Some flowers might be nice. Where else could we get a tree? Let's maybe just put one right there as well, just to tie that. Well, no, I kind of love the look of that. I'm just going to leave it. We have enough trees. Let's get some enrichment items for these guys now. Our grizzly bear under there. So we want food enrichment. So we already have the underwater fish feeder. So that might be perfect. I love the little creek in here. Like they can just walk across here if they want. That's so cool. Oh no, enrichment items. Food enrichment. So we got this tree feeder scatterer thing. Let's get one of those. Tree forager. We can kind of get a bunch of these things. Maybe put this like, well, right there, I guess. And then a little feeding box. Maybe a block of frozen fruit, block of frozen fish. And a bamboo feeder kind of just underneath there, and just keep them nice and happy. And then we'll get some toys for them. I think one of these things might be kind of cool. We don't have... Oh, we got to get our glass things here. So I think we could put this here since we'll have our glass. Let's get them a soccer ball. Scratch that itch. Where could we put a little scratcher? And then we got like a scratching tree, a dedicated scratching tree. That can go there. No, I can't. Never mind. Let's get a block of ice for them and just kind of fill up. Maybe a bobbin drum. See if that'll at least keep them happy and away from each other. Oh, and you gotta have a tire. Let's get them a little tire thing. Maybe wind chimes or something. They might enjoy that. I think that's nice and full for them. And they should be pretty happy. Nutrition will take care of itself. We gotta keep these bears fed. Let's actually get another food trough for them. Go put that right there. Keep her assigned, inaccessible. There we go. And then we can fill that up. So that's perfect. What we can do is let's make some of this glass. Maybe just this to about there. Maybe right to the end. We do one-way glass. And I think that should be pretty good. We'll kind of see what happens with that, but I think that should be all right. And then I want to do something with this. What could I do here? Okay, there's our bear. He got out somehow, maybe. Okay, let's also check and make sure they can't get out here through the trees or something. Yeah, it actually shows you if they can climb trees or not. But this is such a beautiful little habitat. This is looking really nice. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be leaving you until our part 2 comes about. If you guys want that, let's get this video to 500 likes to keep this going. I want to see this zoo just climb all the way up this hill, do some crazy things. Again, 500 likes to keep that coming. And if you haven't already, our race to 70,000 subscribers is soon coming to an end with your help. If you guys could subscribe, I mean, let's try and get even past that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, part 2 coming your way. And let's keep this beautiful zoo going. Thanks for watching. Peace.